Welcome back to the Become All Strong cast. We're answering some fitness Reddit questions today on the weight loss section to hopefully give you guys who are listening a little bit of advice on your weight loss journey or help some others around you that are struggling with it as well. First individual who is needing some help. He's 13, so remember that, very young, pushing about 300, 5'6". Need help, can't afford any gym memberships or stuff like that. I'm not sure about a diet with school and stuff. I need help because 300 pounds at 13 is crazy and I look so ugly. I hate being obese. So the first thing I want to say about this is that there's clearly some negative self-talk going on. There's a lot of negative self-talk going on. And anyone who gets to that level of obesity or overweight, there's likely a lot of internal dialogue, potentially just self-hate about themselves. This is usually why a lot of people will overeat and become overweight is because they're feeling just not good deep down internally and they use food as a way to kind of mask that. So that's the first thing. There's a huge mental component of this that needs to be addressed. And this can be done by simply looking at how you view yourself. This individual right here, they hate being obese. And if you are in that circumstance, it is totally valid because you probably don't feel good. You probably don't look as good as you want. However, you need to start loving yourself in the current situation that you're in. And say to yourself, literally talk to yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what, I don't really like how I look right now, but I still love myself regardless, and I'm going to work towards a position of my physical and mental capabilities that I do like about myself. That's the first thing. Second thing, 13 years old, so there's still a lot of growth and development happening in this person's physiology as well as mental fortitude. So usually in these circumstances, if somebody's 300 pounds, sometimes you would recommend some like really rapid weight loss stuff. But since they're still growing and developing, that could lead to some psychological and even physiological issues down the road as well. So, yeah, there's quite a bit to unpack here. They don't have gym memberships. So, you know, all the mental stuff aside, really, it is as simple as finding more ways to get a little bit more active in your daily life and finding ways to basically make the surroundings of your life more diet friendly. It doesn't have to take you going to school and getting an exercise science degree like myself to know what's good and what's bad. You can follow your intuition on these things. I think a big thing that you can do when it comes to diet is portion control. So normally, you know, eating 2 to 3 pieces of pizza, maybe you eat a whole pizza at night, I don't know, and trying to cut back down to maybe 2 pieces of pizza and some vegetables or something. A really simple hack is switching regular soda with diet soda, or just looking at any of the drinks you normally drink that have liquid calories in them and transitioning them to 0 sugar drinks. That's really, really going to help on the diet aspect. And then look at your day. Look at how it's set up. Are you set up for success? Are you packing lunches? Maybe if you're going to school, and eating stuff that's a little bit more healthier and not the stuff at school, because I'll be honest, my brother's 14. He tells me some of the stuff they have in high school, and I didn't graduate from high school too long ago. A lot of those meals weren't really the best. They did have a salad bar, but there was a hyper caloric amount of food. There was a super big amount of food. So, you know, you could be eating healthy, but, you know, I remember some of my times when I was eating in football, I would have like 2,000 calories at school. Portion controlling, trying not to eat everything at school, that's going to be a big thing. And then just start going for walks. You know, I think that's one of the best things that you can do if you are somebody who's obese or really overweight, is just trying to go for maybe a 5 to 10 minute walk for the next couple weeks on top of what your normal activity is. Maybe start taking the stairs, start parking further away from the grocery store at stores. Maybe just practice insufficiencies at your home. This is what I did during COVID a lot because we couldn't go out and I was trying to get my steps in. So if I had to do the laundry, I would literally put one piece of clothes, go back to the laundry bin all the way across the room, put another piece of clothes away. And it's just a really simple and small way to get more physical activity in. Another thing that you can do too, I was actually kind of sick this summer, just thinking of different ways to get physical activity, is to place different things in different places in your house than you normally would. So making it harder to actually get it. One of the things I did to help me get back on my feet, I literally would place a bowl really high on a shelf up in my cabinet and cupboard. So I would have to reach and use all the muscles to reach up and get it and to help me in that position. So I strengthened all those muscles, and you know, at the time I was not in the best of shape. That was actually pretty difficult for me to do. And I think you can practice this in multiple ways around your home as well. So this individual just realized they were never actually raised knowing what is normal, healthy meals to eat daily. Okay, this is a huge one because if you're in the fitness and health community, it might seem like, duh, you shouldn't eat a whole pizza, or duh, you shouldn't have, you know, junk food just thrown across your counter. But if you have grown up in a household where eating McDonald's 3 to 4 times a week is the norm, having a bag of chips with every single meal with normal, regular, full sugar soda is the norm, where sleeping in on the weekends and then sleeping in more right after you woke up is the norm, where sitting and watching TV for a large portion of the day is the norm. It's very tough to get out of that situation because you are literally programmed, especially if this happened when you were younger, to live that way your entire life. So let's get some more context on this. This family, my family has never had meals together on holidays except like Thanksgiving. That's a big thing too. A lot of times people will just mindlessly eat in front of the TV, but when you eat as a family together, not only do you get that mental engagement, which is really good for your mental and emotional health as engaging as a family, but you're also usually enjoying the food a lot more. You're being more mindful about the food. And the whole thing is you're just more present with it instead of just watching, you know, the news, which is all, you know, fear-mongering stuff, and just eating a pint of Ben and Jerry's while you watch the world, quote unquote, burn in front of you. So this individual also kind of eats whatever they like. They find random things. Most of the time aren't meals, goldfish, pizza rolls, and soda. As embarrassing as this is, I need some guidance on what normal meals make me healthier that I can incorporate into my life. Not a good cook, so I prefer things that are easy to make. So a lot of this is going to come down to preferences when it comes to making healthier meals for yourself. I'm pretty easy, and I could literally eat something like a chicken and potatoes and broccoli probably for most of my days. Actually, in college, I remember I meal prepped and had the same lunch every single day for about 3 to 4. No, it was like the entire year of college. So it was literally chicken, rice, black beans, and vegetables every single day. Super easy, super convenient. So that's going to be the first thing. I would honestly just write out a list of things that you think are healthy, or you know are healthy. Write out a list of vegetables, write out a list of lean meats, write out a list of slow digesting carbs like oats, brown rice, whole wheat bread. Write out a list of fruits. Write out a list of, those should be the main things. Write out that list and just simply there, find different foods you like that are healthier. And honestly, I would start there. So if it literally means you have your normal diet and you're gonna start eating a couple of apples a day, because that's something I recognize that was a little bit healthier. And then for dinner, I'm gonna add a piece piece of chicken breast with my meals to get a little bit more protein in. It's as simple as that to start, and I wouldn't really overcomplicate it and go from 0 to 100, and that could actually put a toll on your body because when you go from a really unhealthy diet to a really healthy diet, people don't realize that you will likely get constipated, you won't feel good because your body needs time to adjust to a healthier diet, even though it doesn't really make sense. This happened to my friend a long time ago. He was trying to lose a lot of weight. He was pretty overweight, and he cut back his calories a lot. He started eating really healthy food, and he was working out really intensely, and he lost a lot of weight. He was feeling good. But then there was a point where he ate something that was unhealthy, what he normally would have done, and his body literally shut down. So it happened so quickly where he went from good or quote unquote unhealthy to healthy food that the second he reintroduced any unhealthy food, his body was like, what the heck? So long story short here, find a few healthy things that you can get into your diet. I wouldn't even consider meals yet. And then once you get the hang of this, you really can start branching out. You can look at healthy meal recipe ideas on YouTube, on basically any website available. Just type in healthy meal ideas. I have a few on my channel too that this could be available as well. Overeating late at night. Ooh, we've all been there. This individual needs some help. Needs some health. We all need some health. Needs some help with their life. Played sports throughout childhood and early adulthood, physical job, walk about 15 to 20,000 steps a day. Okay, that's a lot of steps, so that's good. Main problem is around 7 p.m. All I want to do is eat. I will eat around 3,000 calories right before bed. Wow. Okay, don't know how to control it. I've always had a problem with portion control, but lately it has gotten progressively worse and I want to stop it before I have to get new pants. Okay, so a couple things here. What time are you going to bed? If you're going to bed at like midnight, maybe just consider trying to go to bed a little bit earlier, because I know from myself, from perspective, that when I feel like I need to be up a lot longer, I'll start snacking more because I just know like I'm going to be up longer and I like filling part of the day with eating. So if you're not awake, you can't eat. Simple as that. That's the first thing. Maybe shift up your bedtime a little bit if that's possible. Another thing that I want to introduce to this individual and anyone who's watching is this idea of calories in versus calories out and potentially intermittent fasting. So they eat 3,000 calories before bed. I don't know if that's a lot for them. If they're, it doesn't say if they're male or female. If you're a male and you're walking 15 to 20,000 steps a day, that probably isn't going to do much harm to you. It wasn't going to allow you to gain a lot of weight. But if it's 3,000 in addition to other calories, probably, and I'm sure they eat more during the day. But if it's only 3,000 calories, that's not that bad. And that's where I want to talk about intermittent fasting. So for this individual, since they eat a large portion of their calories, at night, or they prefer that, it's okay to kind of shift around your calories so you're getting your overall calorie goal, whatever that is for this individual, in maybe a shortened feeding time. So maybe you skip breakfast instead. Maybe you even have a really light lunch that only has a little bit. And since you like eating a lot of your calories at night, don't beat yourself up over it. Just eat most of your calories at night. People overcomplicate this. However, I will say if this is causing stress on your life, if you're only eating unhealthy food, like if you're binging on junk food, that's a problem too. But in all reality, it's not really going to do that much on you. It might have a little effect on your digestion, but if your body likes it and you have a lot of time after that for your food to digest, it's probably okay. But yeah. Oh, one other thing. Another reason people overeat a lot is because of the specific types of foods they're eating. So I'd guess that they're probably eating junk food, but there's a chance they're not. The thing about junk food, though, and any type of junk food, is it is very high in calorie density and very low in satiety. So it's very easy to overeat and doesn't fill you up. What you could do during these times where you're feeling really bingy is to drink a little bit more water, because there's a chance you might be dehydrated, which can mask as hunger. And then also to eat more high volume things, leafy green vegetables, lean sources of protein, even some fruits that are very water based, like apples, cantaloupe, watermelon. Those are a few off the tip. Blueberries, blackberries, very low calorie, high fiber options there. And those foods will make you feel more full. And when you feel full, you're not even going to want to overeat, because you might already feel sick. So a few different tools there. Hopefully some of those could grab this person's attention. What should you consider if you don't want it badly enough? I really hate it when others tell me, you just have to want it badly enough, then it will work. Gathered up my motivation and my dedication and tried my best, but I failed time and time again. Each fail was followed by shame and less motivation for the next try. A surplus of wanting something gives people nearly endless willpower for the first few weeks. They picture their healthy body in their minds and are able to dismiss any cravings. Those are sometimes the people that condescendingly tell you just don't eat junk food. You guys can read the rest there. So yeah, willpower is a crazy thing, because it can get you off the cusp and basically starting any diet, starting any weight loss program. But willpower does not last, and in all reality, you want to make all of these things a habit to make it the most seamless in your life long term. So when I first started working out and dieting, I did have to think about it a lot. But over time, with repetition of really small changes, like going out for a simple jog every day, or just doing some push-ups and pull-ups every day, for me, that was good. That was all I wanted to do. That's all I really knew how to do. And then I also just started eating stuff I knew was a little bit healthier. So I started cutting back on soda, started eating a little bit more fruits and vegetables. I started eating less processed foods like pizza and stuff. And when I didn't eat as much. And that's like the biggest thing here, is people think there's a perfect way to do it. There is no perfect way to do it. And in all reality, it does suck when you have people tell you this, because it isn't just willpower. It's willpower to get started, but you want to create habits to the point where that habit will take over and you'll start to build on it. So don't think about perfection when you first start. Make some small changes, eat, a little bit more fruit, a little bit more vegetable, get some water in, get some more steps in through your day. Do a few of those and you will already notice changes. And do those in your life until they feel like they're second nature. And then at that point, you can start adding more stuff. You can start researching more exercise routines. Maybe you actually get a personal trainer. Maybe you start learning how to cook more healthier options. It is crucial to be kind to yourself when you start. And this individual mentioned there's a lot of shame and less motivation after the first couple weeks, because maybe they fail or something. And that's another completely valid thing that happens for people, especially when you have other people say to you, this is easy, just don't do it. It's not the case, right? It's not the case. I've been there. It's not easy. And you have to give yourself grace and know that you likely will mess up. You likely will fail, but the mess up and the failure is completely subjective. You're deciding that you messed up and that you need to punish yourself for some reason. While other people who are resilient and look at this as, I'm going through a learning process, I will never be perfect. Perfect doesn't even exist. That's a completely arbitrary thing made up when it comes to diet, exercise, fitness, and how your body is. But anyway, you will never be perfect. You strive for perfect as much as you can, but realize that things will mess up. And even myself, I have been doing fitness health. I went to school for exercise science. I've been doing this for multiple years now. There are days where I eat something and I deep down know it's not the best for me, but I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm not really feeling too resilient on my diet today. And guess what? There's tomorrow, there's tomorrow, there's tomorrow, there's tomorrow, there's tomorrow. It's not saying you should just say screw it and always just binge and then say there's tomorrow. But if you're consistent and then you binge on accident, whatever there is tomorrow. Person's close to their first milestone. Cool, milestones are great. 11 pounds away from first milestone, which is my weight when I met my boyfriend last November. That's pretty dope. Sense some nostalgia there. I want to hit it and like to do so before October 13th. I don't know when this is listed, but I think that's about a month away from this time. I'm on a keto diet. It's been doing wonders, but I've seemed to plateau. If anyone has any advice on how to get there, at least close, in the next 2 weeks. Okay, losing 12 pounds in 2 weeks. Probably not something I'd ever recommend. You could lose a decent amount of water weight, which would maybe be close to 12 pounds in a few days if you really tried it, but that really isn't healthy either. Oh man. Yeah, I think for this person is maybe a good learning lesson to plan ahead better. And if you do have a wedding, like this person's made great progress, but if you have a wedding or any type of event you're trying to lose weight for and just look good, maybe you're just trying to lose weight for the summer, give yourself more time than you think you need, because it is going to take more time to lose weight than you think. Which is kind of unfortunate, kind of not, whatever. People want to lose all their belly fat in a couple weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. I was in a situation where I was really, really lean, fairly lean. I had visible abs, although I was a little fluffy, but I wanted to get leaner. And it took me 12 weeks of getting already visible abs, just a little bit puffy, down to very visible abs and very visibly lean. So just for some perspective for people, this takes time. So that's the first thing. I don't think there's any chance of getting that in 2 weeks. However, by decreasing sodium, you might be able to tighten your skin up a little bit, which will make you look a little bit better and leaner. I would just keep doing your normal diet routine. It says they plateaued, and this is one thing I want to mention about keto, is that a lot of times, since keto's low carb, carbohydrates have a lot of water in them, and when you eat carbohydrates, it stores and pulls in a lot of the water from what you drink and just in the food into your muscle cells to hydrate the muscle cells and your body. So when you're keto, a lot of people lose a lot of weight right away and they feel great. Look at the scale. Oh my gosh. And a decent portion of that is water. So if you're plateauing and you're on keto, there's a chance that you might have just lost all the water weight from it, and you are now onto the phase where you are just losing fat. And if that's the case, and for a lot of people it is, an increase of calories, or excuse me, an increase of activity and a decrease of calories is going to be the easiest and best approach. And the ways you can do that are endless. You can, well, you're already on a diet, so I was going to recommend a diet. Maybe portion control a little bit better. Try cutting back on liquid calories. Adding more fibrous foods into your diet. This person's keto, they're probably already doing that. And then just try to increase your daily step count. I think that's a really easy way to break through a lot of fitness plateaus. People don't realize how many extra calories just adding 2,000 steps a day can do to weight loss plateaus. That's only about a 20-minute walk at like a brisk pace, not even a brisk pace. So yeah. Plateauing means your body is adapted to the stress, and you need to either add some extra workouts, stress to your body to burn more calories, or you need to cut back on the food you're eating, likely both. And the ways you can do that are endless. You've gotten to this point, you can probably brainstorm some more for yourself. This individual is addicted to food. They want to lose weight. Title speaks for itself. 23-year-old male, 230 pounds, 3-year relationship at the beginning of 2024. Before I was dating, I was 180. So, so 50 pounds. Missed the way I used to look, and I want to lose this weight so badly and gain muscle. Just feel like I'm not an ISO woman. Gain back my confidence. During the day, count my calories, but always mess up at night. Love lifting, feel myself always giving in to shit food. Ruins all my progress and made during the day. Okay, so your food environment probably isn't the best if you're giving into shit food. And if you're doing this, first look around your home. Simple thing is, if you don't bring it into your home, you won't be tempted to get it or tempted to, eat it. However, on the flip side, if you're out and about all day and you don't have time to eat healthy, that's also a time where you might get into not the best of food. So if either of those circumstances are in your life, and I'm guessing one of them is, trying to plan ahead for those times where you might be tempted, maybe where you're out at work or something, and you want a little bit healthier options, pack some lunches. It's like going back to school. But this is what a lot of people do who are in the fitness industry. Like, you'll probably be at work and people will be going to the food court and stuff, and then Sally pulls out a salad and a chicken breast every day, and you're like, look at her, you're like, whatever. There's pizza right there. No, but the thing about this is, once you start eating healthier, it is tough at first, but your body will start to crave the healthier foods over the unhealthier foods. And I'll tell you for myself, if I had only unhealthy foods or only junk foods all the time, I feel awful. On vacations, the only thing I'm looking forward to at the end of the vacation is going home and eating a freaking salad, because I've already had so much quote unquote unhealthy food the whole time. Yes, I do like pizza and I have pizza on occasion, but most of my diet is pretty clean. And when you eat that way, your body will want to eat more that way. Right now, you're eating in a not the best way, and your body still, even though you know you don't want to, your body still wants to, because that's what it's used to. So there is going to be some growing pains on this. And since you've already been at a decent weight, you probably know what you need to do. But I think there's just this unconscious pattern that's going on where you keep shooting yourself in the foot with overeating on whatever, and you make yourself feel bad about it, and then you just say it's useless. Think about the times you were successful. Think about the times you were feeling good about yourself. You were able to handle a diet really good, and it was no problem. What were the things you were doing? How was your lifestyle back then? And try to incorporate a few of those things. And I think that would give you a lot more confidence to also build a little bit more pattern. And a lot of people mess up at night. This is a thing. I get cravings at night too. And I think finding lower calorie options for nighttime cravings is especially good for desserts. Desserts at night, that's bad for me. So I would always have like sugar-free Jell-O and sugar-free puddings, low-calorie ice creams. Cereal actually is one thing I really like to curb a sweet tooth. Just like Trix or something. It has very little fat, and it actually has basically no fat. It's only carbs. It's pretty sugary. Gets my sugar fix in, almost like a dessert, but it's really not that many calories in the grand scheme of things. 2 servings of cereal isn't that bad. Yeah, we'll end that with that. So this individual's hungrier if they don't work out in the morning. Been intermittent fasting since July, and my eating window starts at 10 a.m. Wonder what time they wake up. This weekend I was on a work family trip, so I didn't have access to my rowing machine or stationary bike. Plus, not being at home apparently makes kids wake up earlier. There's a few days I couldn't do my bodyweight exercises until they took a nap. Anyways, I noticed the days I couldn't do a workout first thing in the morning, I was hungrier way before my eating window versus days when I work out, I'm not hungry until 10 a.m. Is there a reason for this? I would have figured the opposite. Something very cool happens in your body when you work out in a high intensity. And I don't know all of the hormones that go into this. I just know of it, and it's a really unique thing. When you work out, we'll just say even moderately going, pumping some weights, brisk walking on a track, whatever. But in particular, the higher intensity the exercise goes, the less hungrier you will be after the training. And I think part of this is because when you work out really hard, you just feel kind of sort of sick sometimes, just not like you want to eat anything or put it into your body. But also there are some hormones that are released that will actually suppress your appetite, which is really, really cool. And if you're somebody who's trying to ultimately lose weight, this is a big thing to realize, that you can really set up your day around different workouts or exercise at times of the day where you might be craving something. For this person, they normally don't eat breakfast, but they also work out before it. So that workout is almost filling that gap of time that they would not be doing anything, and their body would start to get hungry instead with exercise, which then makes you feel maybe slightly nauseated, whatever, but also releases those hormones, which doesn't make you as hungry. So that's as simple as it is. And I bet this person would notice that the more intense their physical activity is, the less hungrier they will be later. Some side note too, caffeine is a great way to curb your appetite too. So if you're somebody who's trying intermittent fasting, or you are trying to lose a little bit of weight, having just a little bit of caffeine, I won't say a lot, maybe 50 to 100 milligrams, it's like, a cup of coffee, for example, around times you would normally crave food, not too late in the day, you don't want to mess up your sleep, but maybe around lunchtime, or even in the morning, that's what happens with most people. It is going to curb basically your appetite. So there's actually a lot of models who abuse this, and they will drink a lot of caffeine throughout the day just to curb their appetite and not make them feel any hungrier. Also, caffeine does mildly increase your metabolic rate, so that's something to realize too. Yeah, totally side note tangent there, but caffeine's a good tool. Just don't abuse it and overuse it, and you could shut your body down. Nobody wants to have a CNS crash. Has anyone lost weight on using an elliptical? Title says, need something low impact, but also efficient to lose weight and tone up while combining some weightlifting. Run a home daycare, prefer something quieter that I can do while kids are napping in another room, of course. Thought about an elliptical or stationary bike. Use an elliptical, can't remember how effective it was for weight loss. So yeah, if you have bad knees, I think a stationary bike is honestly probably one of the best purchases somebody could get, especially if they're a little bit older and they have quote unquote bad knees. One, because it is a good form of physical activity. It works a lot of the large muscles in your lower body, which when you do that, you're going to burn a lot of calories and build some good cardiovascular fitness for your body. But also you can do other things while you're on your stationary bike. So you can watch a movie, you can scroll on Instagram on your phone, you can read a book, you can do a lot of different things on a stationary bike. So it's a 2-for-1 special. The elliptical, not so much. And I also will say that the elliptical, I've been on one before, and I have literally gotten to the point where I'm like sprinting as hard as I can on that thing, and I felt like my heart rate was not even getting accelerated at all. I don't know the mechanism behind that. I think it's probably because there's very little actual resistance to it. So like when you're doing it, it's very glidey, where it just glides back and forth for you, and it doesn't get harder. On a bike, you can kind of turn up the dial and it'll make the pedals harder. On a elliptical, the only way you can really make it more difficult, to my knowledge, is to just go faster. And it's almost like if you just take your hand and just do this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yes, this is difficult, but you could do this for a decent amount of long time, right? Decent amount of long time, because there's no really resistance. It's just your own resistance. So that's what I would do. Stationary bikes also very, very, very quiet. And I think the elliptical would not be as quiet. Oh, ellipticals cost more. They are also harder to transport and get set up in your home. Just a few other options there. Elliptical is not bad by any means, but I'm just saying in your circumstance, that's what I would recommend. Calorie deficit, boom, let's do it. Past week, wanted to try eating in a calorie deficit most days. So I'm guessing they want to lose some weight. Maintenance calories, 1660. So 1160 is what it said to lose a pound a week. I'm only 5'2". Some days I ate 1600 to 1700. Other days I ate 11 to 12. Recently read it's not good to only eat 1200 calories. Since I'm eating at maintenance some days, Is it okay to eat 1,100 other days? I'm so tired of being overweight. Yeah. So, 5'2". Okay. So first thing, this person's 5'2". I'm guessing they're a female because that's a pretty low amount of calories. And usually, even if you're a male, you would be supposed to eating more calories based off a calorie calculator. So that's the first thing. Females don't need as many calories as males. They don't have as much muscle mass. They don't have as much mass, period. They're not as big, and mass equals more calories burned. So that's the first thing. If you're quote unquote reading something where it says you're not supposed to eat that low because it's bad for you, you're a female, and honestly, a female who's 5'2" and maybe doesn't have the most vigorous of a physical activity program, cutting back to 1,100, it's low, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. You're starting at 16 to 1,700. What I would do is just to not go back to 500 right away. I would only cut back to maybe 300 calories. So try like 13 to 1,400 calories a day. For example, if you're somebody just trying to lose weight at all, I would always start with just a couple hundred calories, because there's a chance that number that it spit you out is actually not quite incorrect. Or not quite correct for you. So I would not torture yourself right away, cut back a little bit, and maybe you're gonna start losing a pound a week only eating 200 to 300 calories less, because that estimate overshot how many calories you needed to lose. Maybe you actually burn more than you thought. Great, that's awesome. So they're tired of being overweight. Everybody says you should eat in calorie deficit. So yeah, it's really going to come down to that. Diet's crucial, but let's look at your workout routine. There's nothing on workout routines. So doing resistance training routines that's going to build some muscle, allow you to naturally burn more calories at rest than if you didn't have that muscle on your body. So that's going to be very helpful. Also, lifting weights can kind of curb your appetite a little bit. Doing some cardio is okay, but realize that spending hours on the treadmill isn't really gonna do. Yes, you will burn extra calories and lose weight, but your body will start to compensate very rapidly. Lifting weights, not quite the same, and lifting weights will also make your body composition look better. So you might not need to lose as much weight to look as good, as if you didn't have that muscle and still tried to lose the weight. Positive weight loss on Lexapro. Lexapro, what is Lexapro? I think that's like like a antipsychotic medication. Lexapro. This is a live, thank God for iPhones, Lexapro. Antidepressant. Okay, I thought it was. Okay, cool. So I was right. So positive weight loss on Lexapro. Started nursing school. Led me to not being able to go to the gym as much. Started Lexapro 6 months ago. Went to the doctor and she said she was concerned about my weight gain and was concerned it was the Lexapro. I can't tell if it's from the Lexapro since it's only been 6 months, and I haven't been going to the gym. I've been stress eating from school. Since these are combined, I can't really tell if the I would find it very hard to believe that an antidepressant is making somebody gain weight, especially if the point of an antidepressant is to make you not depressed, ideally, right? And usually the people who overeat or are gaining a lot of weight are probably feeling not depressed, but not the best in their mental state. And like you said, you've been stress eating too, haven't been going to the gym. I think you kind of wrote it yourself on there. I will say I've been kind of struggling with some depressive stuff. I've just had some really tough summer, and I actually got prescribed some pretty strong antidepressants to help me get through it. I'm starting to slowly wean off of them. But in that circumstance, my weight stayed the same the entire time. I actually was basically bedridden and didn't work out at all. And what I did was just, I cut back on the food I ate a little bit. And with that, my body was okay. I didn't gain weight. And I think that's kind of the same thing that's going on here. I highly doubt, that an antidepressant would do this. There might be a chance that, maybe the antidepressant is messing with some of the hormones and chemical signals going on in your brain and body to where you start craving other foods that you might not normally would. I don't really know the whole mechanism behind this, but I do know the mind-body connection, and that if you start messing with different things with medication, especially psychiatric medication like this, that it can make you make different decisions in all aspects of your life. Usually it's for a positive sense, but sometimes maybe you're going to start craving different things. I don't know for sure, but I would doubt it. Just look at the things you can control right now. If you're still taking the Lexapro, that's fine. And just do your best to try to manage your stress a little bit with school and stuff. This person has trouble maintaining self-control. Not my usual account for this, so I'll probably tell you. 18 years old, 5'2", and 170, transgender man. And I've been taking testosterone for about 1.5 months. Okay, interesting. Overweight my whole life, tried to lose weight sometime back, got to 120, and then got a job at McDonald's and gained it all back, and then some. And now testosterone is only making, excuse me, I promise this isn't boring. And testosterone is only making my appetite worse. I'm so tired of being overweight and want to lose it. I want to stop eating altogether, but my appetite won't allow it, and I have little discipline to stop myself. Not to mention it's really unhealthy. So do they still work at McDonald's? I think that's going to be a big thing. If you work at McDonald's and you're surrounded by junk food all day, the chances are you're going to be craving that exact food when it's right in front of you is really high. So I hate to say just get a different job, because I don't know what circumstance you're in your life, but that would be the first thing. A non-food related job, maybe a job where you're on your feet a little bit more and you can kind of walk around a little bit. Boy, this is tough because they're transgender and they're literally changing the entire biochemistry of their body. So they were a female and they are transitioning into becoming a man with the use of testosterone. And whenever you start tinkering with any hormones exogenously, your body is going to go completely haywire to what it's normally used to. And I honestly think that's what's going on here. And although I don't know for sure, because I'm not in this circumstance, I haven't talked to a lot of people who've gone through some of this and they're still trying to lose weight. But I'd honestly guess that your body is like, whoa, what in the world's going on? And that's part of the reason you're getting super hungry, is because you are literally turning into a man physiologically. And males have more muscle mass, they have more overall mass, and both of those things burn more calories. And if you're not taking those calories back in and you're losing a bunch of weight and you're out of weight that, maybe right now you're not comfortable with, but maybe it's actually around where you're supposed to be, and you're trying to lose weight, it's going to make you really, really hungry. So I honestly think the testosterone, I think this is just something that is part of the process. It's only been 1.5 months. Try in a year from now. A year from now, when your body's been used to that testosterone, how would it be for you? Then at that point, if there's still issues, maybe that's something I would talk with your doctor. But I think this is where you kind of just cut your losses and don't worry about the weight loss at this time, because you're 18, you have a long time to lose weight. Focus on literally changing your body into a man with the use of these things. I think that's the best advice I can give here. Advice on calorie intake, some progress. Link below has my before and after pics for reference. I'm not going to click into this because it'll mess with the recording, but we'll just say they probably gone from 168 kilograms to 77 kilograms. Holy crap! 168 kilograms to 77. Okay, that's an insane amount. I'm going to do the math here on my calculator. So 168 times 2.2, that's 369 pounds. they went from 369 pounds to 169 pounds. Holy crap. 5'8". I find it, okay, I feel like there might be a typo there. I feel like that's an insane, regardless. If they actually did that, that's amazing. 5'8", currently on about 2,200 calories a day at the gym, 5 times a week for just an hour session, cycle to work, 30 miles round trip. On these days, stop home and treat myself to a small cake and a coffee, eating 200 grams of protein, lifting more, have loose skin, have an operation for my chest. Awesome, yeah. So looking for advice. I don't know if I would change anything they're doing. Maybe if they plateaued, but man, this person's already clearly they've lost it, and I think their body is just like at a point where it's like, let's just chill at this weight loss, for about a decent amount of time. And that's probably what I would recommend, is to hang out at this level of weight. Maybe try to increase your calories a little bit at this level of weight, which might scare you at first, but a lot of times people, after they've lost a large amount of weight and they have been neglecting calories a lot, the second they add 200 to 300 calories back for the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe next couple months, they actually notice they will lose a little bit more weight. It's a really interesting thing. But I would assume that your body is kind of starting to get some of those physiological processes of balance back into order, because you've really been putting your body way out of homeostasis by losing this much amount of weight. And that's what I would do. I would add just a little bit of calories. Also to, I don't know if it says they do go to the gym, so they do lift weights. Make sure you're progressively overloading on your weights and getting stronger. If you're getting stronger, you're building more muscle, and that will burn calories while you rest.